What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. So if you guys are tuning in for the first time, you might not know who this is. He's been on this channel before. Say what's up, man.
What's happening?
So there's actually 2 other episodes I'm going to link in the description, but he's been to federal prison. He was a con man, scam artist, right?
Yeah, kind of a, we like to use the term fraudster, con man, you can't con people out of money. As a fraudster, you kind of get the bigger institutions. You're like trying to steal money from the institutions, the government, from banks, insurance companies. So yeah, I was more of a fraudster. I'd come up with schemes and different plans to make them big companies pay up. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Get that money.
That's right. It's like those lawyers those accident lawyers that chase ambulances and they want to sue the insurance companies. I don't want to sue them. I want to trick them out of their money. Make them pay me for something that actually maybe never happened to me. So instead of getting in the accident, getting an accident and hire a lawyer, what I might do is I might stage the accident and then hire a lawyer, so I make the money, so I know where the money's coming from. So
you're on like another level. You're going for like big corporations and shit like that.
Yes, I don't want the money from another person because I kind of know how much they have. I feel like the institutions can give me the money.
You're a moral compass con man.
Well, I steal from the government. They don't think it's that moral, but
Yeah, he was obviously a scam artist, as you can see. You got sentenced though to federal prison. How long did you end up getting sentenced to?
I got sentenced to 16 and a half years. In feds, they give it to you in months, so it was 198 months, which is 16 and a half years in federal prison. I started off at a low institute, worked my way up to a medium, and then I worked my way up all the way to a penitentiary. So it needless to say that Fed,
that's a lot of time, bro.
It's 13 years, and that was quite a ride. It was very interesting, very interesting. A lot of events, a lot of different people. I learned a lot, and I took it all in, and that's why I came on. I wanted to come on, is to kind of share some of the experiences I had, because prison is like no other experience. Because I've been to college, and I had one of my closest friends was in the military. And when we talk about all the different things, prison is one of the most unique experiences you could ever have.
That's a fact. Very, very fucking unique. You did federal prison time. I did state prison time.
Right.
So you mentioned like there's different types of people in prison, and that was basically the main thing that shocked me when I went to prison was any type of personality, any different type of individual, like they are in there.
Yeah, extreme. From one extreme to the other, like complete like scared cowardice guy to a guy that's
killing
tough,
bitches.
that's a killer. Yeah, and what's funny is a lot of times a guy that's scared will act like he's been killing bitches because in his mentality that'll keep people off of him. So
and they started to believe it, and then somebody comes along and a real gangster steps down.
And what's so funny about that, and I can ask you that, most of the time when I saw a scared guy acting like he's tough, it's always a quiet person that's the gangster that shuts him up.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for the quiet ones.
Yeah, because they'll go up to a guy and the guy's like, look, I don't want any trouble. Oh, this guy's a bitch, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, you're like, you didn't even think that guy had it in him. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard lessons. And
what about the dude that's in the dorm? Like kind of what you said, right? He's in the dorm and he's loud, always talking shit.
Yes.
And one day, every one of those dudes ends up bitching up. You know what I'm saying? You rarely find somebody that talks it and walks it.
And because like just to get philosophical for 1 second,
by all means,
when you have confidence, a real man doesn't have to boast about what he's gonna do. He'll just do it. And a coward or somebody that's not real is going to boast because they want you to think what they're capable of. So that's how they generate the fear, is by telling you what they're capable. But a real man is just kind of like, if I got to handle business, I'm going to handle business. So that's usually what happens to them. They go in with a mindset like, okay, this is easy and all these guys are cowards. And if I talk loud, everybody's going to hear me and respect me. And they usually get straightened out. So that's one of the things about prison is it's kind of like poetic justice comes fast. Because, you get a rude person in the real world, you just kind of hope one day they get their justice. Yeah. In prison, you get to witness the justice speaks.
One thing I did like about prison is, like, nowadays, like, not a lot of my subscribers, I don't think any of them actually, but there's, like, you can put out and talk the most positive shit, and someone always has something to say. That's because in today's age, it's easy for a bitch to say some shit.
Yes.
Because nobody's ever going to hold them accountable.
Right.
And that's what I liked about prison, because you had respect.
Yes. Because you get held, like I said, the justice is served immediately. You get held accountable for what you're saying, or for spewing a bunch of bullshit, or trying to con people out of something.
Yeah,
you get immediately held accountable for it. So it's kind of a small, like I'm sure you said before, it's a small society outside of society. So it makes itself work.
Right. So in state prison, there's a lot of different type of inmates, as far as like kind of what you said, you have soft inmates, you have hard, but in between of all that, you have like the laundryman, always a laundryman in the dorm. You know,
somebody washing clothes to make. So here's what's funny. When you go to prison, I don't know if you define the term chain gang rich. So generally, I could be a big dope head, but I have a family that works and they love me, so they send me money in prison. Yep. So all of a sudden, like
90% is that.
Yes. So all of a sudden I go to prison and my mom is sending me $200 a week for commissary. Right?
Ballin'.
In prison, I'm balling. Yeah. People see that like, you become chain gang rich.
And then they start to believe that, then they start getting a little step in their swag.
Yes.
I'm just like, bro, come on now.
Yeah, on the street, you're nothing, man. You have nothing on the street. You have nowhere to go, and no automobile or anything, but you get in here, and you got somebody that loves you, and so now you pop off like you're chain gang rich.
What about the dudes, though, that they ripped everybody off on the streets, and they don't have nobody to send them money, but they're in there, and they're talking about the cars they had, houses.
Yeah.
And then at the end...
welling, they call that welling.
Yeah. And then at the end of that, it's, so the cars, I had that too, and hey, bro, what's up, man? I got money coming. You got a soup?
Well, see, those people latch on to the chain gang rich because they kind of get into the boasting, and they help the chain gang rich people feel better about themselves so that they can beg stuff out of them. That's how they latch on. So, and the opposite of that is somebody that didn't have anything on the street. Sometimes they either become what I call either a beggar or a hustler. So either they can just resort to begging, walk around the unit, get a cup of coffee from each person, play on people's heartstrings, see if they can get one granola bar out of a box of 10. You know what I'm saying? Basically, all I do is I beg.
Man, you got any spare change?
Sorry, bro, I'm all out, man.
Man, I got these cheeseburgers, man.
I don't want any cheeseburgers.
Please, man. I suck your dick.
And come up on some extra food. But then you got somebody that'll hustle, like you said, to become a laundryman.
Yeah.
So I'm like this. I always work on the street. I work for my keep. So I'm in prison. I can work for my keep too. So I'll wash your shoes or I'll wash your clothes. Don't send your boxers out to that laundry before you come back dingy.
I was just going to touch on that. So a lot of people get being the laundryman confused with being somebody's bitch, because it's right out there on YouTube that everybody that's a laundryman is washing boxers and doing that shit. But let me tell you, the last time I was in prison, man, shout out Tony Lynch. He was one of my laundry guys.
Wow.
And he was a good ass dude, man. He just didn't have family wasn't able to send him money, not because he's a piece of shit.
Right.
And he went out there, and that dude was in that fucking bathroom every day, scrubbing shit.
Yep.
But that dude ate every night, and he didn't ask nobody for shit.
Nope, he earned his keep.
I respect that.
Yeah, amen. And that's the whole, like, we're talking about the justice of it in prison. Like, if you got to hustle and you're good at your hustle, the people in prison are people are people no matter where you are. So if you're a hard worker, everybody will reward you with work and maybe extra. You probably gave him extra.
Yeah.
Hey, only give me this. Hey, man, take this and this, man. You do an excellent job. Yeah, that's right. So it's the same thing. So he could do laundry. I'm saying he could clean rooms. Yeah.
Sewing the socks.
Yeah, sewing
sleeveless shirts.
Yeah, and then you got like the artists that are maybe strung out a little bit, they come in and they become tattoo artists. They actually do
A tattoo man's always on shit.
Or they draw pictures or do cards for you to send home to your family.
Yeah.
A lot of those homemade cards, you think that the person that's in prison drew them. Actually, if they had an artist in prison draw something that they asked them to draw. So it's there's a lot of different hustles.
What
you can
would
get.
you say in the federal prison system was like the biggest hustle for the convicts on the compound to make money?
So I'm gonna say this: the biggest, and this came as a shock to me. The biggest hustle was what they call a store man, which is somebody in the unit that would have items from commissary available, and what he does is he would sell it to you in the unit. Now, the way he would work is he'd give you one item for 2 items back. So if he gave you a Snickers bar, he'd say, when you go to commissary, get me 2 Snicker bars.
Yeah.
So what he could do is he could flip 1 Snicker bar and turn it into 20, depending on how many Snickers you ate. So that's the person that kind of made money doing that. Now, the reason why I tell you that's a big hustle is because one time I had I'll never forget this. I had a cellie that came in fresh off the bus and didn't have much money. He came in at night. I gave him something to eat. And the next, he asked me, he said, let me get paper and about 3 stamps. And I said,
home to get money?
Right. That's what he said.
I know.
He said, I'm going to write home and get some people to send me some money because I'm going to open up a store. This is what he told me. He had just come on the compound. He said, I'm going to open up a store and I know how to flip a store and turn it into profit. I said, what? He said, listen, man. He goes, I've done time he goes, this is not my first time doing time. He said, I can turn a store into something that make me about $1,000 a month. I looked at him like, man, you are crazy. You can make $1,000 a month here in prison. He said, I absolutely can. So his family sent him in about $200. He bought a load of commissary, and I'm witnesses the beginning of all this. He came in with commissary,
Like all the hot items?
all the items that he think he can flip, and he opened up a store. He had a sign, and he would sit down in the day room, open up a store, dealt with people, and hustled it up.
They always got a pen in their ear, and
Yep.
a little notepad.
He
was everybody who owes him shit.
That's right. He was, and he did that. He did that. This is like totally impressed with his name. With this dude's name was Terrell. I can't remember his last name, but within 3 months, he had the biggest store on the compound. He moved out of my room because he bought his own cell.
That's a hustler.
But he had a store where I was. There were 12 units. There were 3 buildings with 4 units each, and there were 12 units. He had a store in 4 different units. When I saw him in the chow hall, he was telling me, right, like, because they had what was called an ATM where he could log in and see how much money was on his books.
In the feds, they had that?
Yeah, they had a machine where you could
kiosk,
type.
right?
Yeah, a kiosk
okay.
where you could type in your.
Yeah.
I call it an ATM, but
No,
we call it an ATM. But you could kiosk, see how much money's on your books. He had $6,500 on his books.
Damn,
he looked at me and said, "I told you I can do this."
How long did it take him to get to the 6?
About 6 months. He had stores.
Bro, he was balling.
Yes, I remember hearing, because they would tell me that this is Terrell's store. Or I remember one time him telling the guy, go to building 3 and tell blah, blah, blah to give you those tennis shoes. That you sent me the money. And for him to
he
give
had
you those
enforcers getting his shit for him.
He had the biggest store on the compound. He was the best because he had police officers, the COs, would let people in from other units to come into his store.
Damn, so he was in there.
Listen, he'd give the CO a Snickers and a soda. COs come in.
What?
They come when they do their rounds, because I'm in his room one day, and the CO comes in, and he goes, such and such, what you want? What you want? He goes, let me get a Coke and one of them Snicker bars. And he gave it to them.
Because he was looking out, because they're looking out.
Yeah, they're letting people come
He
in.
ain't
And,
wrong.
yeah. The CO comes in and goes, let me get a Coke and a Snicker bar. And they drink it up, man. He had over $6,000. He took $200. He got sent in the day. He mailed out, I gave him 3 stamps, and he mailed out 3 letters. He took the $200 they sent him and turned it into like 6,000 plus in 5 or 6 months.
That. That's like a hustler, man.
Straight hustler, man. And he had the vision. He told me he had the vision, everything to do it. He said he's done it multiple times.
Yeah, he's probably been down a bunch of times.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
you know, that type of talent, if he was out on the street, you know, he could develop a chain in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
There's no reason he'd be a failure, man.
Yeah, that's a big thing too, is they're like some of the most talented people that I've met, and this isn't no bullshit, are in prison. The artists, even the dude, bro, that can fix like an old Walkman and solder shit together, and you know, the radio guy.
Yes.
That's crazy, man.
Those type of skills for mechanical things, it's unbelievable. They you know, the deal is drugs.
That's where the money's at. Yeah,
we get addicted to drugs, and all the talent we have is out the window. So once we're forced to sober up in prison, then we use our talent to move on. Because isn't it amazing? There's a radio repairman everywhere, and no matter what they get, there's a radio. And not only is there a radio repairman, like I've met people that will teach you. Like, look, I'll teach you how to fix radios. So radio comes in, or an MP3 player now, he can fix it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard a radio repairman say, man, dude over here just taught me a trick where I can take this thing here and turn it up so loud that you don't even have to put the volume on 5 and it'll blast out a room.
That's crazy, because when I was in Orlando, man, in prison, there was a radio guy there, and they didn't have the MP3s yet. They had the old, like, I forget what they call it, Peanut, I think.
Oh.
Remember them?
You mean the banana? Was it the yellow one?
Yeah. It's like longer.
Yeah. That's how about a radio eat up battery, man?
Oh, I know, bro. I think it was double A's.
Yeah, the triple A. Yeah, that
always
shit.
had the window. Bro, people, when you ask to use the radio in prison, they won't even let you unless you use your own batteries.
Oh, really?
That's how it was in state. Yeah, so if dude had like MP3, you know, with 400 songs, he would rent that out. So that's another hustle.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that. That's cool.
Yeah, but this guy had an old, like, Peanut, the radio man. And at Friday nights, you know, it gets kind of live in the dorm. Everybody's up. It's the weekend. Nobody's got to work. So he had literally like flashing lights that would beat to the bass of the song that was on the fucking radio.
Oh, man.
So you're like Friday night looking through the dorm, lights are out. You see, it looks like you were in Ybor, bro, fucking partying. I'm like, what?
Bulbs bumping, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was nuts, bro. I think that's why I went back, because that time was so sweet.
Like, hey, put me back there, man.
Yeah.
We ain't got to pay bills. We got to worry about traffic. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Vacation.
Yeah, that's it. Staycation. That's what the problem with that is.
So is coffee a big thing in the feds?
Oh, hell. Coffee is, yes. Yeah. That's the legal addiction. That's like the alcohol. But there's an alcohol, but the coffee is the legal addiction.
Right.
You know,
right.
so, and that, you know, they give you that 100% Colombian coffee, which gets you like zooted. So people bag coffee up like dope boys would take it, a bag of coffee, bag it up into shots. Yeah. And then sell it one shot, or they call it a BB, because a BB was just for a styrofoam cup. But a shot was for your regular store-bought. Yeah, you got to be careful. Damn. You got to be careful, because you'd be like, hey, let me get a shot. Be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, they try to get over on
that's a
that.
BB.
Yeah. So they're selling the yellow Columbia in Federal? No other coffee?
I think they had Taster's Choice.
Okay.
They had Folgers. They would normally mix it, because with Folgers was about $3 more than the Colombian. But so they would mix it up, so whenever... That way they'd have a ton more. So it didn't matter if you wanted either one. His coffee was covered. Yeah. Like, no, I like the Folgers. Yeah, I got that. That's right here. Oh, okay. Yeah. I like the Keefy. Oh, that's right here too. You know what I'm saying?
Don't go nowhere else from now on. Just come back here.
I got it covered. Or they buy sodas and sell the sodas individually.
I seen a dude snort that Colombian coffee.
Me too. And I thought I was the only one that saw that.
No, bro. Listen, so I was in jail, and they were doing that like crazy. The jits were like, people were daring them, and some people just did it to do it because they liked it.
Wow.
And they ended up taking the yellow Colombian coffee off canteen completely in that jail because of that shit.
Because they were snorting it?
Yeah, and they were, you know, there's a lot of coffee junkies that are in there. They go around trying to get over on the dude selling coffee, and eventually... The dude selling it gets sick, and all of a sudden, bang, the dude gets smacked in the shit.
Man, it's amazing how somebody can ruin it for everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it always goes down in prison, man.
I know. That's the sad part about it. Because where I was, they didn't have any candy, because you had the liquor, the guys, the hooch makers, using all the grabbing all the sugar wherever they can and making liquor.
Yeah.
Now, that's also a hustle that's damn good money. Especially if you are
good at it,
making moonshine.
Yeah.
Or did they buy just a hooch, or it had to be moonshine where you were?
Where I was
at one
man,
institution where it had to be moonshine.
Yeah, I've heard of it though, like white lightning they call it and shit. I only like when I was in prison, bro. I didn't even really see a lot of alcohol, and when there was always fucking a fight after it.
Oh, like, really? When they busted out?
Yeah.
Where I was,
no, they get drunk and they think then they start, fuck you. And he's like, fuck me.
That was always to me. That was always the Indian. But see, the Indians go to feds. The Indians would get drunk. The Native Americans, I should say, the Native Americans would get drunk and start fighting. You know what I'm saying? So, but like where I was, they made moonshine, where they would actually take. So they would make regular alcohol from the fruit and a bunch of sugar, let it ferment in water until it turned into alcohol. You know, and they would strain
it. Did they have to burp it?
Oh yeah, they burp it. They put it in a bag and.
I'm not really like familiar, crazy. I've been to prison, but the most alcohol I ever saw was in county jail when I was waiting to go back to prison. So.
Well, in federal prison, they made moonshine. So when they burp it. And look, they have a technique now, like they're all advanced, where you'd make it the first time and the fruit would ferment. Yeah. Well, they wouldn't throw away the fruit; they would use it to make the second batch.
Yeah, because it's already rotten and shit.
Yeah, and it's faster. It's a faster brew. So they would make the alcohol to get it fermented with the juices and the sugar, and then they would strain the fruit off of it and put it in a container. Then what you do is you take a bag. Right, with an iron, and you pour the alcohol in an iron that does steam, and then you when you do that,
oh my gosh, bro,
it's evaporating the alcohol, and that's how you make moonshine.
Ingenious.
Yeah, that's how you make moonshine. So you evaporate. Damn. So you take the alcohol, evaporate it, and then steam it into a bag so it evaporates and comes back together. It's pure alcohol then.
Bro, that sounds like some fire.
So once they get a bag or a bottle full, and it's never even a bottle, they might take, like they have a 20 ounce, a bottle like that, hold that up. They'd have a bottle like that, put that much moonshine in it, and the rest water, and sell it for like $100.
Damn, bro, that's the lick right there.
That would get 30.
So they took the canteen off, or they took the candy off the canteen because of the white lightning?
Because of the white lightning.
Damn,
because when they made that brew and they poured it in that iron and steamed it out into a plastic bag, it was 100% alcohol. It was like rubbing alcohol. Like if you drank 2 swallows, you'd be lit up. You could get alcohol poisoning easy.
Damn, bro. So you guys hearing it first, man. I'm learning shit with y'all. I never even knew about that.
Oh man. Like you said, the most ingenious, the smartest people, talented people in the world are in prison doing ingenious things out of making anything you need out of almost nothing. Putting things together, making it out of nothing. Making like purses out of garbage bags or
shoes too.
Yeah, making shoes out of empty potato chip bags. Let me get your empty potato chip bag, and they would wire together shoes. It's unbelievable.
Did you do any of these hustles when you were in there?
No, I did the most criminal hustle you could do in there. I was the lawman. I promised people freedom for a few $100. No, so I used to.
No, that's about what it is, though.
Oh, you're out of here next week.
Most of them dudes are always on some slimy shit.
Yes. No different. The jailhouse lawyers are no different from the street house lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying all of them are, but there are they'll promise you the fucking world if for that $200 up front. You know what I'm saying?
Listen. You know, I'm laid back, and I tried being honest, like by saying I don't know if this will work or not. You know, but then I get undercut by the guy saying he don't know what he's doing. Right. I promise you my shit'll work. So I'm like, whoa, I can promise you my shit'll work. You know what I'm saying?
Everything comes with a guarantee.
That's right. So I had to switch it up. So I mean, just to keep up. Otherwise, I was losing customers. So yeah, they tell them all that stuff. I did typed up motion. If you have the ability to type, you could be a typist because you had some people that wrote. But I also understood the law a little bit, and I could formulate motions and
Like
put
the
things
wording
together
and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just
you
that,
gotta know that.
yeah, just that understanding made me one of the most sought after people in there, especially if the law changes, if something changed, or if somebody I helped like went home. If I get lucky enough to send a motion in and you go home off of it, then I'm the most popular guy on the compound.
Well, I definitely want to get into his, everything you went through being a jailhouse lawyer, because there's some perks, but there's also some downfalls with
Right.
being that. It gets you in a lot of like stupid shit, which can turn into big shit. But I'm going to have him on again. I'm going to link the other interviews I did with him in the description of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this content. We're kind of just kicking back, talking, vibing. But yeah, if you did, man, hit that like button and do your boy a solid and turn those post notifications on all, so every time I do drop an episode, you can hear it first. And with that, it's DOC TV, and we're out.